Welcome back, Mercenaries. It's been a while. Well, it might not feel like it's been a while for you guys, but for me, I have not actually recorded an episode in basically a week. You've been watching a bunch of videos that I recorded all at once, and yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff in between then, thinking about what we can do to be more profitable, and I got some ideas, so it's time to go over the things that have changed. So first, let's look at our pilots. We now have this pilot here, Major Warner, is a pilot that can have 60 skill, so he can be a perfect pilot. Because you can have 10 in every category, and there's 6 categories, so 60 is the highest. Captain Pendleton, another potential pilot that will eventually grow into a 60. And then we have Captain Goodson, who is a 58, so not quite a 60, but I haven't found another 60 since then. So we are collecting pilots that are, they're pricey, but honestly, their salary is still nothing compared to like just a few battle mechs to upkeep. So that's what's been going on there. Let's look at this. So I have re-audited all of my battle mechs, and I went back, I sold a bunch. I kind of just started, not completely all over, but I basically started over, and I chose to keep the battle mechs that were performing well, and then I brought back battle mechs that were doing well and were lighter weight, just to kind of fit into like the drop weight jigsaw. So what we got here is the standard Hunchback with the AC-20. This one was pretty useful because I don't have a lot of these mechs here, which is what the AI pilots use. Not a lot of them have ballistics, so this is kind of like our ballistics trainer. We have over here just the Hunchback with the double SRMs and the 4 medium lasers. Just a pretty good design all around. We've got the Thunderbolt is back. This Thunderbolt has been slightly redesigned to have 3 small lasers instead of medium lasers. The LRM-15 replaced with an SRM-6 and an SRM-4, so it's a much more kind of brutish close combat mech. We found that your allies just do better in close combat, you know, just using like direct fire kind of weapons. And that's what this guy was redesigned into. He still has the large laser though, so that he can kind of like plink away at like helicopters and whatnot. We've got the Archer. The Archer has a very similar payload to the Hunchback, the double SRM-6s and the 4 medium lasers. The difference, though, is that the Archer can carry a bunch of heat sinks, which means that the Archer is able to, like, fire for a pretty long time before finally overheating, whereas the Hunchback struggles with heat with this kind of design. Maybe I'll take 2 medium lasers off of it and add 2 more heat sinks on for this one. We've got the Grasshopper. Oh, and these two are identical. And so are these 2 Grasshoppers. This one is interesting. It's got a PPC in its center torso. Basically just there as a way to kind of like pick off things at long range. Just because like 1 or 2 shots from the PPC will destroy a lot of smaller vehicles. So this thing is capable of sniping some of them. And then it's got 4 medium lasers. And it's pretty tanky, pretty fast overall. And it has, I don't think it has any weapons in its arms. Like, let's see, center torso, left torso. Okay, so yeah, it's got 2 weapons in its arms. It's got a medium laser each, so the losses are really low. Now we get to the top row. These are the battle mechs I use, and as a result, they get a new paint job. Someone asked me to paint the mechs. I wanted to see a new color scheme, so we're going with the channel colors. First, we've got the Battlemaster. This mech is, let's go into the loadout. Its primary weapon are this like array of 6 small lasers. They are right here on its shoulders. That's its main weapon. It's designed to get in close and then just like cut through people with the small lasers. Originally those were medium lasers, but the mech just struggled with heat. It just had a heat issue. So dropping down the small lasers, it does force you to get closer, but like this mech is basically like a Pac-Man ghost. It just kind of like chases after you and tries to chew you up. And it's not a bad role for the Battlemaster because despite being an assault mech, it still runs at 64.8 kilometers, so it's a pretty fast. It's fast for an assault mech. Then it has a large laser. Originally it was a PPC, but It just generates too much heat. And the large laser does the job. It just allows you to kind of like snipe at things that, you know, especially because we don't have the medium lasers. This thing, it just lets you snipe at vehicles. And also, you know, if you're cutting through something that's a bit more stubborn, you can throw the large laser in there. Because the small lasers don't generate too much heat, the battle mech can handle it for, you know, you can fire all of the weapons at once for a decent amount of time before the heat catches up to you. We got an SRM-6 right on the shoulder pod. Just more close-range damage. And then I kept the 2 machine guns. Just why not? Kept the machine guns. And on top of that, it has 2 tons of SRM ammo, 1 ton of machine gun ammo, and then a bunch of heat sinks in order to not overheat. Which is very common for a lot of these. A lot of these mechs at this difficulty, you're often stuck just constantly shooting at things, and overheating is a problem. Next up, we've got the Stalker. Stalker, same weight as the Battlemaster, but it trades some of its engine power for more weapon capacity. So this thing is basically a super version of the, what do you call it, the Archer. It has 4 SRM-6s and 4 medium lasers. Not a zombie mech, lots of valuable stuff in the arms, but that's why I'm the one who's using it. Very damaging, does a ton of damage. It has a lot of heat sinks and a lot of ammo. So it will cool down fast, but when you're firing all of the SRMs repeatedly, it will heat up. But it does destroy things pretty rapidly. Like, I feel like it's similarly as effective as the Battlemaster. The Stalker will destroy things quicker than the Battlemaster, but the Battlemaster has more stamina and is able to, like, basically, if you have to bash 5 battle mechs down one after the other, the Battlemaster will probably do it a little faster just because it's not going to struggle with heat, whereas the Stalker will, like, blitz and knock the first 2 or 3 battle mechs out very quickly before it has to start slowing down. Then we've got the Cyclops. This mech is similar to the Battlemaster in that it's an assault mech that still runs at 64.8 kilometers. And this mech has been redesigned into a close combat build. We have the 2 SRM-6s. It had 2 medium lasers, but I dropped them to small lasers because, once again, the heat was just too much. And this had an AC-20, but I swapped it out for an LBX-10 AC. And that's simply because I really liked the AC-20, but it was just... it took up too much of the mech's capacity. And I was like, you know what, I'm just being greedy. So I'm going to go ahead and just downgrade it. We've got 2 tons of autocannon ammo, 2 tons of SRM ammo, and a bunch of double heat sinks, like, in order to actually make the mech work. It would still work with single heat sinks, but the thing about it is that it has a bunch of engine. So you see how big these double heat sinks are? They take up 3 critical slots. That is not the case if you put them in an engine heat sink location. It basically squishes them down to the size of 1, which is really good. And finally, we have one of my favorite battle mechs. This mech is an absolute monster. Just happened to find it as like a rare offering for sale. We have the Annihilator, a battle mech. Like, unless you can outrange this mech, you cannot outshoot it. This mech, its sole purpose is to annihilate. It basically trades everything to annihilate. Very heavy armor, has a insane weapon loadout. This version of it has been slightly redesigned. Originally, it had some, like, pulse lasers and stuff, but I replaced all of them with small lasers. So it has 4 LBX-10 ACs, 1 in each arm, 1 in each side torso, and then it has 2, 4, 6, 7 small lasers. And yeah, so in a lot of ways, it's kind of like a super urban mech, because if you think about the urban mech's weapons is 1 AC-10 and 1 small laser. This is basically like the super urban mech. It even has the same speed. It moves at a speed of 32.4 kilometers, which is the slowest speed of any of the mechs in this game. This mech's only purpose is to destroy things, and you might say, well, isn't that true of all battle mechs? No, some mechs can scout, some mechs can, like, lead the attack. This mech doesn't do any of that. It's too slow to scout. It's too slow to, like, lead the attack on anything. It's just a mech that you just... It's a very defensive mech. Like, it's a mech that's just there. Like, you put it somewhere where the enemy is coming towards it, and then it just blows them up. Because, like I said, like, unless you're able to outrange it with LRMs or Gauss rifles or PPCs, unless you have a way to fight it outside of the range of its weapons, you're not going to outshoot this mech. This mech, it's insane. It's designed, as you can tell, it's intended to look like a, I think it was designed, at least, to look kind of like a kaiju, you know, like a Godzilla type of creature. And I thought the redesign for it looked pretty cool. I like the old one, too. The old one is super throwback looking. But anyways, you've seen the mechs. It's time to actually hit up a mission. So right now, I'm working on level 9 missions and level 10 missions. We still have some story missions, but before I jump to the story missions, I just want to show the mechs off and what I've been doing to kind of get around some of our losses. The first thing I learned is that story missions are harder than the normal missions of the same difficulty. Like, so this mission is like a 58 difficulty. I could expect the story mission to be more akin to what you'd see in a level 10 area. So story missions are a bit harder. And one of the best ways I've been making money is doing these missions here. Basically, multi-mission ops. And what you do is do the highest difficulty that you can do without taking really heavy damage. And that rakes a ton of money in, because, and also someone that you have a high standing with, because of all these bonuses here, especially on the salvage shares. So I'm going to take, what we're going to do is I'm going to do 2 of the 3 missions for this and show you 2 mechs, and then I'm going to do another episode where I show the other 2 assault mechs out. And that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to take the full damage coverage, which is only, we can only put 2 points there. I want probably about 18 salvage and then the rest in money. So, and we're going to get this 3 times. Like, they're going to pay us 3 times, once for each mission. Over here, we can see it's going to be a demolition, a defense, and then a war zone. And I like all these missions, I like. And I do have new battle tactics as well. So the first one is a war zone. And the way I can tell, because I was like, how do I know? Well, you could go back to the home screen and it'll tell you you're on mission 1 of 3. And while this doesn't tell you that it's a demolition, the icon does. So you would, unfortunately, I wish it would just tell you break the line and then in parentheses war zone. But you'll just have to memorize the, or a demolition rather. You'll just have to memorize the icon. This icon is the symbol for demolition. I personally would prefer to see like kind of like a city that's like with an explosion mark on it. I think that would get across demolition a lot better. Anyways, though, so let's go ahead and pick our pilots. We want the pilots who can actually grow in skill. And for a demolition mission, I actually want to bring battle mechs that are fairly fast. And that's going to be, the Battlemaster is going to go in. And now I'm going to, this guy needs laser experience, so he's going to go in the Grasshopper. This guy needs autocannon experience, so probably going to go in the Hunchback. And that leaves us with 65 tons, which conveniently is just enough for a Thunderbolt. So, as you can see, a very convenient setup. A setup that is designed around the idea that a lot of these missions we've been doing are 270 tons. But let's get in there. So, previously, when I did those pre-recorded missions, I was trying a few suggestions out. One of them was to just ignore the enemy and try to, like, just go for the objective. I have found that the reverse seems to be the way to do it, which I'm going to be demonstrating here.
Our target is an industrial complex marked on your tactical display. Our employer wants it gone, and we aim to please. Light that complex up like a New Year's celebration, Commander.
Whatever you say, Major Rihanna. Especially because, like, you're just safe there, just watching, basically. So, I found that the key to minimizing your damage is, one, you want to do what I'm doing, and you want to use a battle mech that is better. Like, be greedy. Use the best battle mech in your team. Like, don't evenly space your battle mechs. Like, let them use a crappy battle mech. And that's because you need to do the hardest work. You need to lead the attack and basically keep the enemy from surrounding and just swarming your allies. As you can see, this battle mech just goes right through them very quickly. As long as I don't get suddenly bad accuracy. Come here. I get you. There we go. And right now, I need to keep the momentum going. I need to destroy these battle mechs. I cannot allow them to surround my allies, because they get confused is the problem. That's the end of him. That's the end of that. Missiles on him. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to strip the entire area of all defenses. I'm not even really going to focus on attacking any of these enemies. It's not my goal. Or I'm not even worried about like the buildings and stuff like that. I'm just here to destroy all of the defenders, and my allies are actually going to destroy the objective. Like, it's already down to 64%, and I haven't really done anything. Got him. Left arm taking a bit of damage. Okay, so now I'm going to tell everyone to regroup on me. So I just did F1, F2. I'm telling them, like, don't get confused. Rally on me, and now I need to intercept these enemy battle mechs before they start surrounding my allies and confusing them. Because I found out what's getting them killed. What happens is they do not deal with the circle strafing well. They just stand still and spin around in a circle and try to kill the battle mechs that are circle strafing them. And what happens is the enemy starts to get rear shots on them because they're spinning in a circle. So you can't allow that to happen. And the best way to prevent that from happening is to use a battle mech that's a little bit tougher and let your allies use slightly weaker battle mechs. Like right now I'm using an assault mech. All of my allies are using, you know, heavy mechs, and there's also a medium mech. And the key is to just, you need to get in there and do the heavy lifting. I need to keep him off my left arm, so I'm going to kind of show my right arm a bit more. I'm also going to destroy his autocannon. Autocannon destroyed. That's the end of him. Just like that. And look at that, I've barely done any damage to... They're killing the base for me. Because that's just kind of like a default thing that they do, is engage the enemy base. And I'm gonna just tear up all the threats to protect my allies. I don't care if I'm taking damage. I'm just one battle mech. And this mech is also kind of on the zombie-ish side. We've got the machine guns in one arm, and we've got the large laser in the other arm, so it's really not that big of a deal. I'm getting up with the base a little bit. Dropship means more enemies moving in to attack. Can't let them do that. Gotta let them hit my right arm a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna tell F1, F2, telling all of my allies to rally up on me. Rally up. I want them to drop what they're doing and re-rally. And you can see that despite being an assault mech, I can keep pace with these guys. They're a little bit faster than me, but they're not insanely faster than me. That's what I mean, like this guy's like a Pac-Man ghost who just kind of chases you around and like chews you up.
Mission complete, Commander.
There we go.
I expect our employer to be very satisfied with this result.
Gonna target its arms, because that's where its main weapon systems are. And once its arms are gone, it's basically helpless. That's the end of them. And you can see those small lasers. Just because they have the word small, it doesn't mean that they're bad. So right now I'm clicking my left mouse button, and I wasn't shooting. I found that sometimes I kind of have to do what I'm doing right here, where I zoom in and out, and that allows me to kind of like reset this weird thing that doesn't let me shoot.
On your trail, Commander.
But it's a really strange and annoying thing. It's really annoying on weapons that have a longer cooldown cycle because you don't realize that your mouse isn't responding. Okay, that's our dropship. I thought another wave of enemies were coming, but look at that. Our allies, you know, good. I have no armor breaches. I've got, like, you know, my arms are a bit worked up, but no armor breaches. And like I said, just a very aggressive,
Mission complete, Commander.
getting in there, telling your allies to regroup where necessary. Enemy reinforcements arriving too late. Like I said, very profitable mission. Lots of bonuses. And we did it. I mean, our repair bills are going to be very, very low. Now, I always get damage coverage just in case, you know, sometimes the game can be rather unpredictable. As you can see, we're up to Reputation 13, so I have been playing a decent bit. And, yeah. We'll go ahead and take a cicada. Doesn't matter which one. And let's just take some weapons that we use. We'll take medium lasers. I use those. What are the highest quality ones? Got any decent small lasers? I'm using a lot of small lasers right now. Looks like medium lasers are mainly what we're going to be taking, so let's go ahead and just grab all of these 2-bar medium lasers. There we go. So that's our salvage. Big payout. Like, minimal damage. Now, we have to do the missions back-to-back. As you can see here, look, very low damage. Very low. Now, we got to run these missions back-to-back. Now, you can quit them if you want. You know, like, nothing stops you. I think you do take a reputation hit. Now what we're going to do is go back home. The shield is a defensive mission. So that in this mission, I'm going to be using the Stalker because it's okay to be slower. And once again, I'm going to send another Grasshopper out. I'm going to send out a another Hunchback. It's kind of the same formation. And then the final formation will be a much more aggressive team of bigger mechs. And, like, we'll probably be slightly under the drop weight, but here we go again. So now you can see the Stalker in action.
We're at target location, and not a moment too soon. Our contract is to garrison the facility at Nav Alpha against any hostiles that move against us. It's only us out here, so let's move quickly to establish a defensive perimeter. Nothing on scopes at the moment, but don't get comfortable. Hostiles have been reported in the area.
Okay, so since the enemies are coming to us, and also we don't have to retreat, like I don't have to go to an extraction, so I don't have to worry about being intercepted by enemies, it's okay to bring a slow battle mech here. I tell my allies to rally on me, because this guy's going to get in the way of my gunfire. Which is exactly... I can't shoot because the Hunchback's in the way. Okay, we're through him.
We didn't pay you to shoot what little we have up.
Now this guy's going to be annoying because I got to chase him around. I might not do that, though. I might just...
Enemy destroyed.
Okay, I guess I will have to chase him around. Okay, here we go. If I can actually land a hit on him. There we go.
Mercenaries, save my people.
Oh my god! He acts like he dies there, and then he's gonna be back. Don't worry, he'll be back. It's not a big deal. We are not fast. And then the Annihilator's even worse. I kind of just want to destroy this because I'm a jerk. I'm so sorry. Did you guys need that? Okay, we're finally getting to the battle zone. What do we got here? Really? I didn't kill him? I don't want to waste my missiles on him.
Hostiles are escalating their assault on your position, Commander. Be careful.
I'll fire one volley at him. Okay, so we just saw a Leopard drop off a lance of mechs over there, so let's get started. The little dots, that tells me how big the mechs are, so it's a light, a medium, and a heavy? I believe that's what the dots tell me. I'm gonna tell my allies to rally up on me, kind of like, I don't want them to wander off and start getting circle strafed.
Target destroyed.
The Stalker is one of these honest-to-goodness mechs that there's nothing deceptive about it. Like, you just one look at it and you just see a whole bunch of missile racks and you're like, you already know what this thing does. No, there's no deception with this mech. Oops, I did not mean to click that button. Oh. SRM's a little hard to hit a moving target that's at that range. Don't want to waste too much. This thing can chew through the... Even though it has a lot of ammo, it can chew through that ammo very quickly. It doesn't take that long.
That kills reactor is about to
Nice, they got him. So, like, your allies have decent accuracy. They're just... So, here's the thing.
enemy mech.
Your allies have good aim. They just have bad positioning. Like, they don't understand, like, when to retreat. They don't understand, like, when to be evasive. They're very, like... And that's why you kind of want to use this strategy. I'm going to tell everyone to attack. Concentrate fire on this guy. I'm going to try to stay out of their line of sight as well so they can kind of bombard him.
This isn't some hollow vid, Merc. Our people will die if you aren't careful.
See, they're hitting him. You can see the damage is racking up. PPC is definitely from the grasshopper. They almost got his leg. All right, I believe I could start shooting at him.
Additional tangos en route to your position, Commander.
Okay, good. Rally up, forming up on me. Don't get confused by these enemies. Okay, we got a hunchback. That's probably going to be the first target.
The area is taking a beating, Commander. Don't
Trying to target his main weapon, which we almost have. Okay, the hunchback is crippled, so I'm actually going to ignore it. And I want these guys off my allies. I need to get them off of them. Rally up. Get off my allies. Can't let them circle strafe around and confuse them. And like I said, this guy, even though he's not destroyed... Oh, I see a mech behind me. Are you circle strafing my guys? Yes, you are. There we go.
Additional contacts just cross the perimeter, Commander. Expect company soon.
So that's another thing I've been doing is if a mech is basically crippled where its most meaningful weapons, it's just down to like a medium laser and a small laser, I'll just jump off of it and start attacking something else. I actually had a battle where I fought a Victor and 2 Hunchbacks, and that's exactly what I did. I blew off both of the Hunchback's main weapons, and then I destroyed the Victor's arm, and just went out, and then my allies finished them off just because it wasn't necessary. There were other more important things to destroy at that point. Oh, we got enemy contacts.
Target acquired.
I want them on. Rally up. Rally up. Oops, that's the wrong button. What is that? That's a javelin. Attack this Centurion. He's walking in a straight line at us, meaning he's just going to be toasted. I'm going to tell him to attack this guy next. I'm going to get them all to concentrate their fire. Focusing on this guy now. And you can see I'm starting to have heat problems. Like I said, I can blast through them effectively, but what now the situation we're in is that we've destroyed enough of them that even if something like this happens, I'll just be able to cool down. There we go. Rally up, guys. Not too worried about LRMs. Like, I've come to the conclusion that LRMs are really not that big of a threat. I mean, like, they do damage, and you don't want them to, like, constantly wear you down, but there are much bigger problems than LRMs, and I would say one of the big ones is circle strafing on your allies, because they just get really derpy. They get really stupid. Like, basically what I did is I spent some time where I would just kind of allow my allies to get kind of beat up, and I would just kind of watch them fight and just kind of try to learn, like, what is causing these missions to go so poorly. And that's what I found it was, is that your allies... See, oh, he's there. He is pretending. He's pretending to like,
Target acquired.
pretending to be like dead. I think he does it on purpose. He's like, oh, I'll be extra dramatic and make the mercenaries work harder. That's the end of him. What do I want? I want the quick draw, I think.
That one is ours.
There we go. Got the laser, got him. I'm gonna take the blackjack next.
This location has suffered a beating.
Oh god, I wasn't watching my heat.
We need to keep their attention on
Okay, damage report, please. So right arm is a little banged up. I'm going to hide my right arm a little bit.
Destroyed.
But they're running out of bodies.
Target acquired.
They're running out of bodies. Oh, they got my right arm.
Target destroyed.
Ooh, this dragon is surviving. He was taking some hits there.
Our employers will be pleased.
Okay.
We've held our ground and saved this facility.
So we took more damage. That's my fault for not watching my heat. I should have been a bit more cautious with my heat there, but the Stalker is the only battle mech of all my assault mechs that is designed in this way. The other mechs are designed to be much more stamina capable of like sustained gunfire, so like I don't have as much practice with the heat management on the Stalker. That said, the damage coverage more than paid. Basically, like, it slightly exceeds our damage coverage, but it's more than a payout on it. So we're going to take both of these battle mechs, big money there. And is there an SRM-6? Maybe we can get one to kind of replace ours. No, so we'll take another medium laser. So, that mission still went very well. And, like, the damage here is all caused just due to, like, just negligence. That's the explanation for it, is just not being on top of the heat loss. Like, I think I shut down twice in the middle of combat, like, where multiple enemies were attacking me, so that's not good. But on the other hand, look, this Thunderbolt had 1,500 C-bills of damage. Very low damage across the board, so it's not even that big of a deal compared to how much we're raking in. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Next episode, we're just going to jump immediately back into it. I'm going to show you the last two mechs completing the third mission, and then do one more mission. You can see all four of the assault mechs. But at any rate, let me know what you think down in the comments section. Like this video if it was entertaining. Subscribe for future Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.